Like and subscribe now, or you're gonna have bad luck this week.
People love a good mystery, even though mysteries are more popular when they remain as mysteries. Some of them have actually been solved. Thanks to scientific tools that perhaps didn't exist at the time of the occurrence, investigators have been able to figure out the solutions to many earlier puzzles. Sometimes the researchers simply get lucky thanks to a deathbed confession or stumbling across a clue that everyone else missed. Here are 10 unsolved mysteries that have been solved. Number 1 will give you goosebumps, so stay tuned for that. Number 10. Mysterious Notes in the Odyssey. Homer's epic poem The Odyssey has come to be known as one of the most important in the history of literature, but there are still many things that we don't know about this story's creation. This is not all a layer of mystery that was added when a copy was found with illegible notes in the margins in the University of the Chicago Library, and it was a Venetian edition from 1504. The library set up a contest to see if anyone could crack what the scribbles on the book meant, and an Italian computer engineer, Daniela Metelli, figured it out with the help of a colleague, Giulia Chetta. Turns out that the notes were written in French shorthand and dated back from the 19th century. Number 9. How the pyramids were built. The Egyptian pyramids are one of the Earth's widely recognizable landmarks and are one of the 7 wonders of the world. There are many unsolved mysteries and unknown secrets about the pyramids that remain about the pyramids to date, and the pyramids seem to be in no hurry to reveal them. People have been wondering how they were possibly built without the use of modern technology, and many studies and researchers have been made in this regard. Was it aliens that built them? Well, probably not. It was already known that the Egyptians used wooden sleds to drag large objects across the sand. But researchers at the University of Amsterdam added a probable solution to make the mystery seem much less complex. They stated that wetting the sand slightly would make the perfect amount of friction to carry very heavy objects easily. They said that adding just a little amount of water can make it very slick, and a team of just 10 workers could easily pull a ton sled. People always seem to forget that the Egyptians also had animals like donkeys and cattle around, and they could have been used to help too. Another ancient Egyptian mystery that seems to have a more simple answer is the hieroglyphs that seemingly depict modern helicopters. It turns out that they are a product of the stone being reused for more than one image. Number 8. The fate of the Franklin expedition. Captain Sir John Franklin's Arctic expedition was lost after leaving England in 1945. They were actually looking for a shortcut route from Europe to Asia from a northwest passage, but unfortunately his ships were caught in the Arctic ice. Over the years, there had been many expeditions to find out what happened to the doomed crew, but none of them were successful in finding any clues. By the end of the 20th century, we came to know that not many of the crew members died immediately, and many of them actually succumbed to diseases like scurvy and even lead poisoning after becoming icebound. Some of the graves were also found at the site, and sadly the rumors of cannibalism also proved to be true. Number 7. Sailing stones. These trails left by something known as the sailing stones, or the moving rocks, have been long noticed by observers as an enigmatic phenomenon of these objects that seemingly move on their own, leaving trails in their way. The most famous example is seen at Racetrack Playa in California's Death Valley National Park. Many experiments have been done in order to figure out how these large objects move, and we now seem to have an answer. You see, on cold nights, thin sheets of ice develop under the rocks, and when the ice begins to melt, by the striking of breeze and the heat of the sun, those ice sheets drive the rocks in front of them and just plow them along the bottom of this shallow pond. Number 6. The face on Mars. Between the Aratus crater and the Bamber crater in the Cydonia region of Mars, spacecraft Viking 1 captured an image in 1976 that has fueled speculation for decades. That is because it looked as if there was a face embedded in the rocks of the red planet, and that caused researchers and the general public to go all in awe of this mystery. While people wanted to see this picture as proof of the existence of an alien civilization on Mars, the actual explanation is not that fantasy-provoking and is a banal one. Scientists and researchers have agreed on the conclusion that the face on Mars is nothing but just an optical illusion, and that it is only based on the angle from which you view it and how well lit it is. It also depends on how far your imagination can go, and for people who go too deep into imagination, you can probably find similar faces on anything, ranging from clouds to the patterns in marble. Number 5. The location of the USS Indianapolis. The sinking of the great USS Indianapolis is one of the greatest tragedies that the United States Navy had to go through, and it had been a mystery for years. Torpedoed by a Japanese submarine in 1945 during a mission to deliver parts of a nuclear weapon in the era of World War II, there were only 316 survivors from a crew of 1,195, and it was said to have sunk in just a matter of 12 minutes. The wreck remained unfound despite many expeditions that were sent to locate it. However, in 2016, new information was found which gave us a better clue of the probable location of the unfortunate ship. A team funded by Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen was sent, and they finally found the well-preserved remains of the ship. The remains of the unfortunately destroyed ship revealed that it had suffered an unimaginable amount of damage from the torpedo, and the devastation caused by those 2 Japanese torpedoes that hammered the USS Indianapolis was evident from the state the ship was found in. Number 4. King Richard III's death. While his legacy lived on till Shakespearean times, King Richard III of England was the final English king to perish in a battle. In fact, his death in the Battle of Bosworth Field is often used to mark the end of the Middle Ages. The mystery here is that his remains were lost and couldn't be found until 2012, when they were uncovered during the archaeological excavation of Leicester. The position of his spine in the ground is very interesting, as there was a noticeable curve in it, and that's just not something that could have happened by accident or by squashing someone's body into a grave. The body was identified to be his in the following year, and it was found that he suffered 11 wounds, most of which were on his skull, which suggests that he lost his helmet in battle, leading to his demise. Number 3. What caused the Tunguska event? In 1908, in a remote area of Russia, a massive explosion took place that flattened millions of trees and produced about 185 times the energy produced by an atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Millions of pine trees, lodges, and birches were destroyed by the pressure wave and fires. The night sky remained illuminated for weeks. This explosion left people dazzled and curious for many years, and it was thought for years that it might have been caused by the crash of an asteroid, a comet, a clash of matter and antimatter, or even an alien spaceship crashing on the grounds of Russia. In 2013, it was confirmed that it was a meteor, and a team from the National Academy of Sciences from Ukraine analyzed rock samples of meteoric origin from the site. Researchers studied microscopic fragments of decayed vegetation dating back to the time of the event, and discovered mineral combinations perfectly consistent with other meteoroid impact sites, like the 50,000-year-old meteor crater in Arizona. Number 2. The Bermuda Triangle. While some of the other mysteries on our list might not be well known, we are pretty sure that you must have heard about the Bermuda Triangle. For many years, people have thought about the evil powers that this place possesses and that make ships sink and the planes fall from the skies. But the true explanation is pretty simple and unexciting. While some may imagine the triangle as a small and specific area, it is actually huge and not a well-defined region that is heavily trafficked by sea and air. There is a network of stunning reefs around the area that come right to the surface, and when ships encounter those, it breaks them apart. The wooden ships back in the old ages stood no chance in such circumstances. In fact, our cruise ships might have just sailed through it without any signs of trouble and without you noticing anything. Yes, plenty of accidents have occurred there, but they have logical explanations, which give us hope that we'll be able to solve all the world's mysteries. Whether we'll be around to learn those answers is another story, though. Number 1. Anastasia's escape. In 1918, the Russian Imperial Romanov family was executed by communist revolutionaries, but for years, rumors persisted that Tsar Nicholas II's youngest daughter, Anastasia, somehow survived and escaped. Several women tried to impersonate the missing princess throughout history, but it didn't help them as genetic testing proved it to be otherwise. These speculations were fueled when the Romanovs' grave was found in 1991, and 2 bodies were missing, but by 2007, another gravesite was found nearby, and DNA testing conclusively proved that all members of the family are accounted for. It is a sad ending for those who were hoping for her to be alive. Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. Which one mystery did you find the most interesting? Do let us know if you have answers or any other well-known mysteries too. We'd love to hear from you. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.